My memories of Dreamland are growing up there because my mum and dad both worked there. My mum worked on a candy floss stall underneath the Scenic Railway, and my dad worked on the Scenic Railway as the lead driver and did a little stint on Looping Star.
As quite a young boy, I remember going out with my grandparents. We used to go out every summer. We'd go on a bus trip. I lived in Sandwich, so we'd go off to Canterbury, have Kentucky Fried Chicken, and then get the bus on to Thanet, maybe go to Morelli's, go to Dreamland as well. So I remember going on the open top bus along Margate Seafront and then going into Dreamland in the afternoon. I remember going on the water chute. I also remember going on the Scenic Railway. So lovely memories of, days out with my grandparents.
I'm Bernie Morgan and I chair the board of the Dreamland Trust, and historically the Trust saved Dreamland from residential development, and now as Dreamland has been saved and is working and doing really well, we preserve its history and heritage and its rich archive.
My name is John Cripps and I'm currently employed as the Dreamland Archivist Officer. That's my correct title. Well, this was an early picture from the 1950s. This is the roller skating rink now, as they know, the disco roller skating rink, which really over the years hasn't changed a great deal. On all this ornate ceiling, and there's quite a few holes in the current one where they've done structural tests when they first opened the building back up again, and we got in there. These are actually tin plate. Every one of those tiles is tin plate that's nailed actually on top. It's a false arch. It gives that impression. It's like that, 'cause if you go from the outside, you don't see that. It looks like a peaked roof.
Yes, well, we commissioned an animation of some of our archive photos because we've got an extensive archive, but it's not always available to everybody, and we wanted to make it more available, but we wanted to bring it to life with the animation, and we felt that animation is such good media for everybody, all ages really, that everybody would be able to engage with it.
The project as it stands is called My Dreamland, and my role is to piece together all the sound snippets that Dreamland Trust have got from people's memories of going back to like the 40s, 50s of Margate and Dreamland, all the way through to where we are now. And I'll be editing those to make a 3-minute video of nostalgia and fun, using animation and footage, and most specifically we've got the original Dreamland Trust archives that we got given here, which we've scanned high res. That will be piecing the majority of the documentary. So it's a mixture of sort of new and old and bringing the two together, so it's relevant for today and for the do justice to the memories of the people who went when it first opened.
Oh, my earliest memories, I was 8 years old, 1956, and we were in a caravan in Westgate, and Mum and Dad made us walk from Westgate to Margate on Thursday evenings to see the fireworks. Living in a village in Kent, it was such an amazing experience to see thousands of people in the evening appreciating what was going on in the park.
And what rides or attractions did you enjoy most then?
I think the Scenic Railway was obviously a real thrill as a young boy, and then as I got a little bit older and I used to go there with my friends as a teenager, in the summer holidays. The Looping Star, I remember the first time queuing up for the Looping Star, being really, really nervous, but fantastic memories, yeah. And I think it was called the Apollo, which was a great ride as well. I used to love that.
We were just sort of, as a team, when we spoke about it, was trying to just keep the engagement flowing throughout the whole video. We could have obviously just sort of filmed people speaking about it, but to make it relevant to youth culture today, the attention spans are just a bit shorter, so we thought, why don't we create something that is constantly changing and eye-grabbing for the viewer, so they'll make it to the end of the film and maybe find something out about Dreamland as it once was, or relate to these memories that they wouldn't have had access to unless they knew someone who was maybe working there or something. So it's just a case of keeping it exciting for anyone watching from the outside who maybe doesn't know about the history so much.
When I was in my late teens, I was a skinny runt of a guy, still 6 foot, but not a pick of meat on me. And there used to be a guy there who used to tell your weight, or guess your weight. And he always he could never guess my weight. I was actually 11 stone at that age, and I never moved up or down in weight. And he always used to guess me around about 13 stone. He could never actually get my weight. But I have no idea what I won. I suppose I won anything, but it was just the thought of beating him every time. I just used to go to him every time I came down here.
I think there's a real strong education aspect to the work that we do. There's clearly the history and the social history and the oral history of both Thanet and amusement parks in this country and around the world. But there's other things as well. There's things like design, what was design, how design was used in way back when and how it's used now. There's also technology, what technology has got the rides going in those days, and now it's all computerised, so there's those sorts of aspects of it. There's also for older people the opportunity to reminisce, and it's really good for people who are perhaps suffering with Alzheimer's and things like that, because they've got longer term memory going back a long way rather than their shorter term memory, and it's good for them.
I asked you yesterday to create a soundscape for me for Dreamland. I was wondering if you could tell me how you went about doing it.
Well, seeing as you asked me to do it on Dreamland, I went on YouTube and found like all the old clips of what it used to be like. I found like the Scenic Railway, someone on that, and then just took sound clips from like screams from people on the roller coasters, and then some fairground music from that time era, and then layered it all up and then made a track out of it. So it's 4 main layers. They all have different things. So one of them has like seaside, like seagull sounds, because it's in Margate and it's by the beach. Then one is the first person view of a time on the Scenic Railway. So it's just the sound of what it's like to go on the roller coaster as such. One is the actual fairground music sound, and then finally it's one with loads of audio clips of like people scream, but also like people talking, and like loads of surround sound.
How did you find the audio recording this morning?
It's fairly easy, fairly standard. Just try to make sure that everyone's quite loud enough. Might have to turn the gain up on a few parts, but that's not really any trouble.
The general process with this in terms of the animation side is, well, initially we just came up with concepts of just sort of the ideas we go through, so how we would animate it, whether it just be like a collage-y kind of thing, or if we will, bring into other elements of illustration and animation. So it was a case of getting the archive photos, which Dreamland Trust did very kindly for me. It took them a long time to get all the ones I wanted. And we just went through scanning everything, high res as possible, so we can cut them up and piece them onto the After Effects program, which is what I use the most. And like the techie side there is we play around with the effects that can go with that, and how the images will move around the screen, and how the hand-drawn illustrations will interact with the photographs, and try and do that in a way that isn't too clashing, because it can work and sometimes it can't work. So we will illustrate around what's happening rather than through it. And most of the illustrations that are going to be animated are just sort of accentuating what's there rather than creating footage themselves. So there's not I'm not drawing people sort of walking through anywhere, because we've already got all the photos with the people in.
My earliest memories of visiting Dreamland, that had to be the sounds and smells. There was all sorts of things going on. It was just, for a little child, it was amazing. But most of my memories come from when I started to work there as a 14-year-old in the 70s.
It's a great opportunity for young people to get real work experience undertaking projects such as this. Broadstairs College are very keen on working with the local community. As a group, East Kent College have, over the last 5 or 6 years, given in the region of 90,000 volunteering hours on projects all over the South East. So it's something that we're absolutely passionate about. It's great experience for the students, it's great for the locality, and it's great for us as a college to give our students and the community those opportunities.